Good afternoon from the newsroom. A 32-year-old man has been arrested after a car was driven into crowds in the Australian city of Melbourne. 19 people have been injured, with several in a critical condition.
This is the moment Australian police arrested a man after a white SUV ploughed into crowds on Flinders Street in Melbourne. Witnesses described seeing the car driving through a red light before careering into pedestrians at the busy junction. Over a dozen pedestrians were struck by the car, and several are now said to be in a critical condition. A young child with serious head injuries was among those who were taken to hospital.
At this stage, we believe it is a deliberate act. Can I repeat that? At this stage, we believe it is a deliberate act. However, we do not know the motivation, and it is still early stages of the investigation.
Later, police said the 32-year-old man they had arrested at the scene is a drug user with mental health issues, but no known links to terrorism. He's an Australian citizen of Afghan descent, and police said he was taken into custody by an off-duty police officer after a struggle. The officer sustained shoulder and hand injuries during the arrest. Both he and the suspect are now being treated in hospital. A second man was arrested after being seen filming the incident and was found to be in possession of a bag of knives. However, police now say he is not believed to be linked to the incident. It's the second vehicle attack to have occurred in Melbourne this year. In January, 6 people died when a man drove a car into pedestrians on Burke Street. City authorities later installed concrete blocks in various locations, including Flinders Street, hoping to prevent this type of attack. Joan O'Sullivan, RT News.
Ryanair has confirmed in writing that it now recognises Impact as the representative of the airline's pilots. The union says it has accepted an invitation from management to attend a meeting on the 3rd of January. Impact has described it as an historic achievement. And our reporter Joe McGrady joins us now from Impact headquarters. Joe, can you take us through what happened this morning?
Yes, well, Mary, we'll take a step back to Friday. The process began on Friday when Ryanair said it would recognise unions for the first time, and they have never had union recognition within the company. So that was something of a bolt from the blue, but it was very good news for unions. However, Impact, which was representing pilots here in Dublin, wanted further details about what exactly that recognition entailed. Now, they took a step themselves in that they suspended the one-day strike action that had been planned for yesterday, but they also demanded Ryanair get back to them by midday today with details on the recognition that they were offering. Ryanair did that by mid-morning. The Impact Trade Union has described it as a breakthrough, and we can hear now from the Assistant General Secretary, Ashley Connolly.
This is a message to all workers who have been fighting and have had their, achieving and working away tirelessly in order to achieve independent workplace representation, and we believe that is a significant move in itself.
Did you ever think this day would come?
I'm happy to say it has come.
So what have they got then from Ryanair? Well, what they've got is recognition in writing from the company that Impact will now be the union for collective bargaining purposes on behalf of Dublin-based pilots with Ryanair. They will go into a meeting with the company on the 3rd of January to conclude a comprehensive recognition agreement with the company, and they will hope to quickly move on to deal with the issues of pay and conditions for pilots. And from a passenger point of view, very importantly, the union says that the threat of industrial action has receded for the moment.
Joe McGrady, we leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us. Union leaders are warning that hundreds of jobs are under threat in Belfast. This follows a decision by the US to impose duties on imports of Bombardier C-Series commercial jets.
When Bombardier sold $6 billion worth of its new C-Series passenger jets to Delta Airlines, its rival US plane maker Boeing claimed Bombardier was selling the planes at below cost price because it had received unfair state aid from Canada and the UK. US trade officials have now upheld Boeing's complaint and imposed 300% tariffs on the C-Series, effectively trebling its price. Bombardier employs 4,000 people in Belfast, with a quarter of the staff involved in making the wings for the C-Series jets. Unions said the imposition of US trade tariffs on the planes could jeopardise hundreds of jobs in the north.
It's not an unexpected decision. Obviously, we believe this to be an American first policy through the Trump administration. But hopefully if the ITC look at this here in a fair and equitable manner, then those tariffs would be overturned, because there's absolutely no damage done to Boeing. They never even bid on the Delta process.
This is not the sort of news the workforce here in East Belfast wanted to hear, especially in the run-up to Christmas. But this is not the final ruling on the tariffs issue. The case will now be considered by the International Trade Commission in the US, and their adjudication is expected next February. Brendan Wright, RTE News at Bombardier, Belfast.
Voting is underway in regional elections in Catalonia. The Spanish government is hoping that the result will strip pro-independence parties of their control of the Catalan parliament and end their campaign to force a split from Spain. Final polls showed separatist and unionist parties running neck and neck, and the election is expected to draw a record turnout. In sports news now, and Munster's CJ Stander has committed his future to the province and Ireland until June 2021 after signing a new 3-year deal. The South African-born back row had been linked to a move to France. Last week, his Munster teammate Peter O'Mahony also agreed a contract extension. Bristol City caused a major upset in the English League Cup last night, beating Manchester United. A goal on 93 minutes from Corey Smith gave City a surprise 2-1 win over Jose Mourinho's side. The historic victory triggered euphoric scenes at the final whistle as the home side, who now progress to play Manchester City, celebrated their first triumph over Manchester United since 1978. Post-match, United's boss was magnanimous in defeat.
And I think a beautiful day for football, because a team from a lower division won and get into semi-final. Big day for them, big day for their supporters. So I congratulate to them. I don't want the fact that I say they were a bit lucky. That is the main thing of it. The main thing of it is that they won and they fought hard for that.
One of Galway's most experienced inter-county footballers, Michael Meehan, has announced his retirement from the game. Meehan made his debut for the Tribesmen in 2003 and was a pivotal member of the Caltra team that won the club All-Ireland title in 2004. Meehan returned to the inter-county panel this season, but his comeback was hampered by injury. And finally, hundreds of people gathered at Newgrange in County Meath this morning to witness the winter solstice. Today marks the 50th anniversary of the rediscovery of the solstice phenomenon at Newgrange, where the rising sun lights up the internal chamber of the 5,000-year-old tomb. Fáilte Ireland live streamed the event to an audience watching online around the world. Unfortunately, there was no break in the cloud, although the atmosphere at the ancient monument was once again weatherproof. And that's all from the newsroom for the moment. Bye for now.